Hi, this is Jonathan Goodman, and something a little bit different today. Our amazing co-host, Ren Jones, is out of the office. He's actually headed to the anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King's March on Washington in solidarity with Black Lives. And so we have decided not to record a new episode today. We've decided to play you a recording of a call that we did for our Online Trainer Academy students, where it was an interview where I interviewed one of our level 2 Online Trainer Academy students. So he went through level 1 a few years ago, and he recently went through level 2. And he's a gym owner. His name's Jesus Acuna. And what was interesting about Jesus is that he owns a gym in Arizona, and when COVID hit, of course, all of his in-person training business went down, and he actually almost doubled his revenues during COVID because he was so prepared and so ahead of things with online training, and he has completely flipped his model now that his gym has been able to open back up. He's completely flipped his model on its head and incorporated not necessarily online training, it's more of a hybrid approach, and you'll learn about the really, I think, brilliant pricing strategies that he did to incorporate and make more and accept people who maybe can't go to his gym or don't feel comfortable going back to his gym, and how this is just his model moving forward. And I think it's a fantastic example of just a resilient businessman, a smart businessman, where preparation meets opportunity. The craziest thing about this, and you won't hear this in the interview, but I'll tell you, is that about a week after we actually recorded this interview, Jesus and I, he actually caught COVID himself and was out of commission for a few weeks. And was still able to keep things running. And obviously it was difficult. He felt horrible. But he was able to keep things running. And so I hope that you really enjoy this interview, and we wish Ren the best. And we'll be back in a few days with a new live interview. Thanks for being here. You know, we started our online fitness business a couple weeks ago. And as the leaders in online fitness business education for a lot of years, we got to know all of the software companies inside and out. We have been working with them. I've been an advisor. I've advised basically every major software company. And so when it came time for us to build our system, you know, I wanted to choose the one that we were going to work with, the software program that we were going to work with, that was going to be the right combination of ease of use. We're going to onboard a lot of coaches very quickly to work with our clients. You know, we brought on 5 at the beginning, but we wanted to build a system where we could bring on a lot of coaches. So very, very quickly. So it had to be really easy to use, had to have the right kind of automation, had to have the data that we needed in there, had to have an Android app and an EOS app. And so we decided to use PT Distinction. And that's not just because, you know, they were the sponsors for our show. We decided to use them after looking at all the options for what we needed the best, and really have been loving them so far. So I can't recommend PT Distinction enough if you're looking for online training software. And normally they give a 30-day trial fee to check out the system. But what they've done special for us and listeners of the show, so that's you, is giving you guys a 60-day trial. So basically double the trial period, really to make sure you love them. And one of the things I love about that is it's not like a coupon code. It's nothing, right? Like, they're putting skin in the game. Like, they're basically willing to let you try out everything they have for free for 60 days, knowing that you're going to love it so that you keep using it. And that to me is a testament to just their own belief in the quality of their system. And that's one of the things that I really look for. But I want to kick it to Ren for a second. Ren, you're one of our coaches in online trainer coaching. Yep. And so you just started using the system, 2 weeks ago, and got in there. So how are you finding it so far, man?
You know, it's very much like a pair of shoes for a kid. You know, you can grow into it. What I love about it is how simple it is at the front end.
How did you just come up with that?
Yeah, I just made that up. Well,
that is the best analogy that I think. Like that analogy was so perfect for what perfect. You're talking about, and I know you just came up with that on the spot.
I did, you know,
amazing.
But it is, you know, you grow into it. So it works at every level is what I'm finding out, because I'm a little bit more complex as a trainer. I've been online training for a while. So I've been around the block, as they say. And one great thing about PT Distinction is it can go from simplicity to sort of explicit detail in a short amount of time. If you need more detail, if you're expert at programming, PT Distinction makes sense for you. If you're new to programming, PT Distinction is great for you. It's got a great library. So I love the fact that it will it will sort of grow along with your training business. That's one of my favorite things about it so far, having engaged with it for only a few weeks. So, I got to say, normally I don't support your choices, Jonathan. We all know that. But in this case, I'm willing to say possibly that you didn't make an error.
There you go. I mean, that's fantastic. So guys, if you're listening and you want to get going with that deal, with that special deal for PT Distinction, you can go to the show notes for this episode or just go straight to onlinetrainer.com/PTD. And you'll see there's coupon code. Just enter it in when you check out and you'll get the 60 days to check it out. So the Online Trainer Show, not sure if you guys know, is actually produced by the same people who created the Online Trainer Academy. I'm the founder of it. All of us are graduates for it. Ren and Carolina, you guys are both actually level 2 certified. Is that right?
Correct.
We're a big deal.
You guys have been hanging around for a few years in our communities.
I feel old.
And young and hard. And one of the things that I'm most proud of with the Online Trainer Academy, I mean, it's not the fact that it was the first ever textbook for the subject, still the only textbook, the only real curriculum that exists for online training, and that we have worked with more people than anybody else. What, 35,000 or something people that we've worked with in 87 countries. So we know what we do works. It's actually the longevity of the success of people in the program. And that's something I'm super proud of, because the methods that we teach are agnostic. They don't fall prey to changes in algorithms. We don't teach you necessarily how to leverage like the newest, hottest software or social media, whatever it is. What we do is we empower you and we teach you strategies to actually jump on and understand what the foundational principles are for success. What are the skills that you need to up level to be a successful online trainer? We're talking everything from obviously your marketing skills and your business development skills to your client skills, motivational interview, and how do you assess clients online? How do you take care of your clients well? Because even if I could help you get more clients, if you can't take care of them and get them good results, then, not much as good is going to happen, and you're going to have to keep reinventing the wheel, and that's straight up exhausting, and you're destined to fail. And that's one of the things that I'm most proud of, that our community has been around and continues to grow. I mean, we've been around for 8 years. You can't have an educational course that's been around for 8 years in a platform that changes as much as the internet does and not really have struck on some very important, fundamental, foundational principles that are wildly accessible. And so if you guys are interested in that, I encourage you to check out the Online Trainer Academy. We produce this podcast, and we've been around for a while. We're going to be around for a lot longer, and we'd love for you to join us. If you just go to onlinetrainer.com/academy, then we will take great care of you. And we do, of course, have a guarantee, and we guarantee everything that we do as well. So there's no risk. So check it out, onlinetrainer.com/academy. Hey, everybody. We are now live again with Jesus, and I am excited to talk to Jesus because of the transition that he made in his business from the gym ownership when COVID hit. And I think this is going to be the really, really impactful one for you guys who are maybe a little bit worried about the state of your fitness business right now and looking towards the future. You've kind of been exposed a little bit, and your in-person training, whether you own a gym or not, you realize how, brittle the business model is. And, Jesus owns Resilient Fitness in Arizona. He's got 2 kids, super busy guy, kind of does everything, one of these people. And he told me some of his numbers beforehand. In February, before COVID hit, his gym did 7,000. He didn't have a lot of online training stuff going at that time. And he enrolled in OTA 2 around that time. Basically, the pandemic hit, like just before the pandemic hit, enrolled in OTA 2. And in March, did 10,000 purely online. In April, 10,000 purely online. In May, 11,000. And the most interesting thing, well, there's 2 things to take from that. One is, not only did he not lose any steam in his fitness business, right? He was able to actually increase his revenue, increase his bottom line, keep the lights on, keep supporting his family because they had the online stuff. And now that they're starting to think about opening back up, he's actually incorporating a lot of what he learned in OTA 2 and with online training back into his gym, and it's going to become way, way, way stronger. And so I'm excited to learn about what all those things are. Thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, my pleasure.
happy to be a part of this for sure.
This is the online trainer show, trainer show, trainer show. This is the online trainer show. We shouldn't have a podcast.
So tell me what was going on in February. Let's start there. Paint a picture right before the world ended.
Yeah, seriously. So February was like month 7 for us of opening the studio. When I say us, it's me and my wife. I do about 98% of the work, but um, yeah, we were month 7. I was maxed out with sessions. I was maxed out in the groups. I didn't want to add any more clients, and I was just kind of like, I think online thing could be really be the next step for us in scaling this. And I was lucky to be part of OTA 2, and we were already getting that going. And right when, let's see, the state shut down gyms March 13th, which is right about when we were in the course where we're going to start selling programs, which was just perfect timing, there for me, because shutting down the gym, I think I didn't sleep that night. March 13th and 14th, I was like, what the hell am I going to do? So just, lost one night of sleep, and the next day, just like, okay, let's follow the program and see what happens. And, it blew up and it worked out.
When preparation meets opportunity, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the nuttiest thing. So I think a lot of people listening, probably a lot of people listening now and into the future, when I said what happened to you, where you had 7K gym revenue that basically went to zero, and then you replaced it the next month with 10K online revenue, are kind of just like they kind of leaned in, wanting to know how the heck you did that. So can you talk about some of those steps? Like, what did you actually do? How did you contact your people? What did you offer them?
So immediately, the next day after everything was closed, I messaged everybody that we were moving online, and there was going to be programming available with an online community and continued support. And, I use software like True Coach and Zoom to provide, different aspects of the coaching process. And everybody was on board. We lost maybe 5 members, and that was due to like pandemic stuff, like they lost their jobs or they just couldn't continue, and tried my best to like help them out. But off of everybody else, it was either programming, doing stuff that they had at home, or they went out and fortunate to find some piece of equipment that I could program for them. Or we started running like Zoom workouts out of our garage, my wife, my kids, and I, and people would jump on and follow along. So from there, following OTA2 model, we started pushing small challenges or group kickoffs, and little by little, people were trickling in and being a part of it. And that's just been the continued method moving forward, which has been what's.
So talk to me about that. Talk to me about how that's structured.
Well, now when on like a weekly basis, we're either promoting a free group online, we're promoting some type of program that launches. And that, for me, I do like a 10 pounds in 8 weeks one. And for now, that's completely online, because the state's leading the country in COVID cases. So people don't want to be in their gyms. So we just set it up so that whatever they have at home, they can use. I have a local retailer that has some kettlebells that I send people over to, and they if they're in town, that they get a hold of him, and then they join the online community, which is where we're giving them constant feedback or asking questions or coaching opportunities and that kind of stuff. And so that's been the case, for us, being able to launch new things on a weekly basis.
Yeah, so let's unpack that. You've got a specific problem that you're selling.
Yeah.
You've got a very specific deliverable that's a group that's kind of a scalable method that you can pick up and take with you. That's the key, right?
Absolutely.
But you were a little bit skeptical of moving to more a group model, were you not? Can you talk to that a little bit?
Yeah, I think there was a bit of skepticism shifting to online, because I knew how to do the brick and mortar thing. I'd managed other people's gyms and done that for the last 10 years. So I knew that model well. So the skepticism came from my lack of knowledge, of not knowing the systems and structures on how to build a business online. Yeah, I could write programs, and yeah, I could say, hey, buy this thing for for $49 or $149 or whatever.
Right.
But how you scale it, how you present it, and then how you go about creating the process of building rapport, qualifying a potential lead or potential member, and then getting deep down into the details of what's driving them and seeing if you're the actual answer for them. That was all built into the course of OTA2, which for me that was the big one that wiped out. If there was any skepticism, that was it. It was like, okay, here's the playbook. Like, my background is in sports. Like, give me the playbook. I'm going to follow it, and that's been
Right.
key.
What was the breakthrough? If you could like run it back and say, there was one thing that really was just like, yo, I can do this. What would you say that is?
There was a couple of them. Well, I think number one, COVID hit and closed it down. There was, I have to do this. I still had to pay rent. Like, I still had to put food on the table. There was no like, I think I'm going to try this. It was like, this is all I got. But what was really cool is, one of the things that is taught in OTA2 is like, how do my online prices match my face-to-face? Because it was in the beginning, it was substantially different. And what happened is, right when COVID hit, I started with a particular price. And in OTA2, working with coaches, Jason, Igor, and Andrew, and everybody else, we're taught to build up and gain momentum. So when you package a price, you test that out. And if it's selling, you get comfortable with it. You add, you scale it up to something that's a little higher. And once you get comfortable with that, you can push it a little bit more. So there's these processes that are built in that I personally, I just wouldn't have thought of. Like, I know how to train and I know how to put progressions and regressions into exercises and stuff. But now looking back, I was like, oh man, it's so simple. This is the same exact thing for business and marketing. Yeah. But you don't think about that. So that's that.
I want to write a book one time. I want to write a book on that one time of like how fitness and business are the same. It's true, man, the progressions and the regressions. So I love that you hit on that. Actually, it wasn't something that I had thought to talk about, but I think is really important for a lot of people listening here is my gym. These are my prices for online. Right now, yeah, everybody was forced to go online. So like, these are my prices, right? Like, you got one. But when you go back, how do you navigate that? So what's your structure going to be like when you go back? How's that all going to be set up?
So the state did open up a couple weeks ago, three almost a month. And when I went back, there's a couple of things. Like, one, once you see it, you can't go back, right? Like, once you see the scalability and that kind of stuff, you're like, I'm more effective and I'm a better coach using this model. So when we came back, I switched everything to packages, which included nutrition, training, ongoing support, the community, and switched over from my previous thought that like everything had to be monthly, build up that monthly revenue, to here's a package, it's paid in full for 3 months, a year, or payment plans. And that's been a huge game changer, because not knowing what's going to happen with the state, not knowing what's going to happen with the gym, most people are opting to being paid in full options, which that means cash in the bank, which is ideal for this current situation for sure.
Huge. Cash is king.
Yeah.
Always. And what's interesting is that you can actually usually charge more for paid in full, just because people hate being on installment. Like people hate signing up for memberships, really. And for you as a business owner, like, I'll always take cash in hand. I'll always take guaranteed cash. Yeah. Every single time. And even if somebody does a payment plan or something like that, I'll give you an incentive to pay it off early. I mean, that's what you want. So I get this idea of like gym owners always bragging about their monthly recurring revenue and how much it is. Like, don't get me wrong, recurring revenue is amazing, but money up front is better. Yeah. Right. So if your MRR is a little bit lower, but you're taking in much more cash on day one.
Yeah.
I take that every day. So you talked about packages. You talked about the shift to packages. That's massive. I want to unpack that. I want to talk about that a lot, because so many gym owners were selling sessions, were selling classes. Now you're selling a problem and a solution. and the steps to get there with
Yes.
the package. Tell me what's
Yes.
included.
So I think part of selling that package and getting really down into like figuring out why people are coming to me specifically, and then being able to say, okay, I'm going to deliver on this. I'm going to partner with you for the next 12 weeks, 8 weeks or whatever. One, it lit a fire under me. And two, what I've noticed is members are also excited and they're getting better results because they have like a point A to point B mindset. Like, let's get this done. Let's track the nutrition. Let's get the workouts. They're really excited. Jesus is expecting a report every week. And so what I've seen is this idea of, instead of like, oh, I have a gym membership or I'm going to my class. No, they're invested in coaching, and they know that I'm expecting, or I have an expectation for them. Therefore, they want to deliver, which has been really exciting, because I think as a coach, I remember growing up in this field, and just people are like, oh, I want to work athletes because they work hard. It's like, no, when you figure out what people want, that's when they're going to work hard. When they know that you're expecting a particular whatever from them, a particular goal, a particular habit, they put in the effort. And that's been really exciting. For me, it's weight loss with strength training and sustainable nutrition. That's the big thing. That's what I serve my members on. That's what they want to do. And so we cater everything around that, and they love it. They dive all in.
And so your packages are the same now for your online and inside your gym?
For new members, yes. Some of my old members that stayed on, they're on the old, they grandfathered into that. I didn't do any changes for them, and I do, if they're going to add anything on now, because nutrition wasn't included back then they're moving into the new package or similar pricing to it. So I guess that's close to it.
I guess what I'm asking is that you're offering one type of service now. Like, instead of saying, okay, we've got our online and then we've got our gym, you're basically saying, no, this is how we work.
Oh yeah. So it's a hybrid model now. So this is, if you're in town, then you have access to coaching times that are the group classes and the semi-private, or you got your own gym and that's it. There's no price difference. They're like, this is what it is.
So there's no one-on-one training anymore.
No.
Okay, so let's talk about that. That's what I think people want to know. So tell me if I'm wrong here. You have group coaching times in your gym that people who are part of the hybrid program, i.e. pay a monthly fee, can get access to, and they can basically show up when they want to show up. Is that right?
Correct.
So how many times do you offer a week? What do you do in those sessions?
So with the old members that I had was group training. So there's 3 times a week in the afternoon. There's 6 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and 4 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and 5:30 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Off of those, people can come in, get their workout. It's a group structured session, and they also have some form of nutrition coaching that's already priced in. So that follows a lower tier, if you will, for training, because I program for the group. I don't program for the individual. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, there's a semi-private where each individual has their own program where they come in, and this is the second tier that's higher price. And they can come in, use it during that coaching time, and also get additional support online with nutrition coaching and whatnot. Now, the way that relates to online, it's the same model. It's just they're not coming in. So, I got folks in California, Ohio, wherever it is that they're at, where they're receiving the same, either if we did a group launch, it's going off the group programming, or if they're doing one-on-one online, it's going off the semi-private hybrid version that's on there. And that's how it works.
And so your 2 tiers is effectively individualized programming versus not. And if they have the higher tier with the individualized, then they can come in for those extra group programming times.
Exactly.
Yeah. Beautiful. That's brilliant. And I mean, what a great pivot. Like, what a great model for a gym to grow with.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
now
so.
you have more revenue. Like it's funny because the name of your business is Resilient Fitness,
Yeah,
and you prove your resiliency
yeah.
throughout this period. I mean, how many gyms? It's kind of funny, tongue in cheek. How many gyms have this like name that has to do with strength and resilience, but they had this like kind of brittle model, and they haven't adapted and haven't showcased resilience when this happened. It's, so anyway, you proved your name. Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool to see that this idea of this idea of this is our model, and now you can grow. Because I know you and I have had some conversations about basically where do you go from here personally. I mean, you're a busy guy. You got a family. You got 2 kids. You own a gym with your wife. Like, you got a lot of things going on. Talk about how now, because you have this model, you can begin to replace yourself. You can begin to remove yourself from a lot of the day-to-day stuff that you don't want to be doing.
Mhm. Um, so I think having the model just has given me those options, right?
Mhm.
So this month, June, I've been in the process of doing exactly that, replacing myself, bringing in one of my current members who's had experience running medical facilities and stuff like that, and she's doing all the operations. She's doing our standard operating procedures, and starting to take me out of the day-to-day things that are going on, along with some interns that are here. Um, and also bringing on, I brought on 2 coaches this month. One is going to get deployed in the next coming month, so he has to leave, unfortunately. But the other one, she's completely on board, and she's taking over some classes, and which has been great because even now, so some like I've been a little under the weather this week, so I'm kind of taking a step back, and she's covering all my afternoons, and all the workouts are set in place.
Yeah.
Everything's on there. I can still manage using the software, all of our online support. So I, it's been a godsend. I think it's been working out in ways that I couldn't even imagine. Stuff that
Yeah.
could be even predicted that was going to happen has been
Well,
all covered.
I can tell you why, I think. Um, there's so many, there's fewer variables to what you do now. It's a much simpler model.
Mhm.
So many fitness businesses that try to do too much when they start, and perhaps this will force a lot of people to build a simpler model. It becomes so complex and so varied that it's very, very difficult then to remove oneself because so much depends on you and you can't operationalize it. Whereas what you've done is you've pivoted to a much simpler model that allowed you to operationalize it much easier.
Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, that's what it sounds like to me, at least. There's a question here, and I apologize, I can't actually see your name because of the software we're using. There's like privacy stuff, so it just says Facebook user. And Bobby is still sick, so she's not in here, so she can't read the questions for me. So it basically talks about, an OTA one willing to charge every other week versus monthly, as it works out to more money overall. They offer 3 levels of service, which he or she considers a package. When you're referring to package, you're speaking of something that's 12 weeks, give or take. And so basically, to me, what that question is asking, I'm fuzzy here with my camera. Basically, what that's asking is, how do I sell? What do I sell? Right? And so the switch to charging every 2 weeks versus every month is just because every month is 30.42 days. So if you charge every 2 weeks, basically you're getting paid every 28 days. You're getting 2.42 extra days each month, which means at the end of the year, it actually comes out to a pretty considerable extra amount of money, which is great. What we don't teach as much in OTA 1, and there's a reason for this, and I'll explain, is we don't teach as much the value and the importance of having a specific end goal in a package to meet that goal. And the reason for that is OTA 1 is the first step. OTA 1 is meant to get you a little bit more comfortable with online training because it's very hard to figure out, as a lot of people have seen in this group, you look at the comments of this group, it's very hard to figure out exactly who you want to train and how you want to train until you do it. And so we're very careful to not force constraints on you as you're building the right model for you of online training. We're not saying to you, you have to do it this way, you have to work with this person, because you simply don't know. And so what we do is we instead teach a model that's the easiest to basically jump into and get a bit of experience. Once you have that experience, now you've got the context. In Online Trainer Academy Level 2, what we do is we take people who have a little bit of experience, have that context, have had a little bit of success already, and we help them blow it up by teaching them the scalable model. And the scalable model is largely precedented on saying, who am I working with? What are they trying to achieve? How can I turn that into a package and build it with a model whereby I can serve them better in less time or remove myself from it, which is kind of what Jesus is doing, right? Either hybrid or in person, we work with gyms and with individuals. And then we just teach them the sales and conversions to charge a lot more, basically. For that, because you're offering a much better service. So that's the main difference. If I understand your question properly, basically it's not, is this better or not? To me, it's kind of a stepwise progression. And I'm very careful with everything that we do, where I teach people basically step 1 before step 4. And I think a big problem in this field is a lot of people start teaching step 4 before step 1, which is why to me, step 1 is a course and not business coaching, and not like intensive business coaching. Like basically what we do in level 2 is it's a very intense business coaching product. Level 1, you're not ready for an intensive business coaching because you haven't experienced it enough, because you don't know the questions to ask yet. To me, a course is the best way and also the fastest way to gain a wide breadth of knowledge and start something and try something and figure out where you want to fit in, and also figure out where your gaps of knowledge are. And then you hire the business coach afterwards to fill in those gaps. And that's basically the main difference between level 1 and level 2, and why we structured level 1 and level 2 very different. Level 1, you can take as long as you want going through it. Level 2, you got 8 weeks. Man, talk about the pressure we put on you. Let's talk about that.
Oh man, it was intense, without a doubt. Like it was multiple check-ins per week. What's going on? Rate your week. What's going well? What do you need help with? But I think that's a big critical component to this course, because if you don't have that, like if I'm not getting that notification, like I'm not checking in, right? That's just where it goes. But the fact that it's in a group and everyone's posting, I'm like, oh crap, I gotta like fill this out because people are watching. And that's been key, because I don't want to extend things, especially when it comes to like my business. I want to know, like, if I start now, like what's going to happen at the end of this. And just from the initial call, from the audition call to be able to like get into the program, it was like, you got 8 weeks. Can you deliver in 8 weeks? And my question was like, can you guys deliver in 8 weeks? So like, yeah, as long as you put in the work. So it's like, all right, let's go. And that was, for me, I think week 5, maybe week 7, it was when I made up my investment. So I was like, all right, cool, it works. Let's keep going,
Let's keep going. Well, that's it. I mean, that's the cool part. We say like page 1 of it's not a textbook. We've got 3 manuals that we send where, so you can see it's not a textbook, but it's basically 3 printed manuals that we send. And like, you've got your manual, you've got your grad materials, and you've got your workbook here. And we say, I think it's page 1 in the manual, you will get more accomplished in the next 8 weeks than you would otherwise get done in 2 years. And it will not be easy. We're going to push you far outside your comfort zone, but this is a sprint. And if you're ready for that, let's do this thing. And it's not going to be comfortable. And I mean, you see, and you can talk to anybody who we've worked with in this program, like, it's not comfortable. But that's good. That's what's needed at that stage. I think a lot of fitness professionals get too comfortable once they have even the littlest bit of success. And that can hurt us. Cool. Well, I mean, last thing I'll ask you, we got a lot of great information here, is what, if somebody was interested in, I guess, moving on from like level 1 to level 2 of the Online Trainer Academy, or even if they didn't do level 1, but like they think that they were ready for level 2 because they have a pretty good base, what would you say to them?
if you're interested, it's a no-brainer. You got to do it. If there's one thing that the pandemic has taught us is like businesses need to have robustness. And here's a step-by-step course that's going to teach you how to build that into your business, particularly any kind of online coaching that you're doing, whether it's personal training, nutrition coaching, or a hybrid model. You have to it's something that you're investing not only for yourself, but your business in order for it to succeed. Because we don't really know what's going to happen, and how the way things are shaping out is you need to be able to create the community for people online. You need to be able to communicate with them online. You need to be able to deliver the health and fitness goals that they're looking for. And so these are the tools and the strategies that are going to help you do that. Not only that, but there's also the business side that's going to teach you how to build your life and make a living to doing that. So for sure.
Cool. Well, guys, if you're looking to scale up the online training business beyond what you've learned here, like Jesus, like everybody else we've spoken about, go to theptc.com/OTA2, fill out the application. Once you do, you can book in your first call. Like I've said a bunch of times, we vet people really, really strongly for this. If you're not right for OTA2 yet, or you're not ready for it yet, we will tell you. We don't want to work with you if we don't think that you can crush it. So go to theptc.com/OTA2. Fill out the application, and we'll chat with you soon. Thank you so much, Jesus, man. This is great.
Thank you. See you guys.
This is the Online Trainer Show. Trainer Show. Trainer Show. This is the Online Trainer Show. We shouldn't have a podcast.